Hi, folks. Happy Thursday. It's Thursday. It's been kind of a fucking intense week for me. This game, I think, maybe hits like the right note. Let's jump in. Oh shit. That was a fucking sweet transition. It Fuck, that blew my mind. Okay, that was awesome. That's gonna be one of my major takeaways from this game.
What is
quite
that?
frankly, that was fucking great.
Clarissa.
Damn it, is this thing working? If anybody can hear me, I'm at Fort Milner in the, I think in the gym or something.
Well, she's around here somewhere. I was worried, honestly, that she, might have left.
She sounded sort of scared. Like in dire straits, actual trouble right now scared?
Look, I think we can all be included in whatever definition of trouble there is, so...
I am suspicious of Jonas. I don't
Red
remember if
said
I said that
something
yesterday.
about Fort Milner being decommissioned, right? But, and hear me out, what if it isn't? What if they just said it was decommissioned, and there's, like, still people, like, in there, like, doing stuff?
I think if they had alien autopsies or whatever you're suggesting is happening in there, we'd have been taken out by snipers about 50 paces back.
Maybe. But listen, like, what if all the stuff that's, like, happened to us, the stuff we've been seeing, is, like, the direct result of some government secret project? Like, what if there's some, experimental, program or something?
Secret project? Like what? They finally harnessed the power of...
Mind control. Yeah, mind control, and they've, made a mind control machine, and we've all been suffering like a collective mirage. That's not that far-fetched.
Yeah, that would be great, wouldn't it? If none of this has happened, it's just some kind of fever dream from an experimental acid trip bomb.
I don't know about great, but it'd be nice to know.
Okay, can I not go in here? I guess I can't go in here. Okay, I've had thoughts, and I'm gonna present some of my thoughts right now. I feel like there's two things going on with this conversation system, and they're related, and one of them is complicated because I like it a lot, but it's not entirely pleasant, and that is the sort of like the momentum behind choice and non-choice, right? Interruption, and you're given dialogue options in real time, and you have to sort of like decide what you're going to do. I think that's fucking great. I think that's like, it's brilliant. It's really well executed. It is not fun. It's certainly not always fun. Sometimes maybe it's fun, but it's really compelling. I mean, I guess it's fun on some level. It's fun in a like, in a dangerous, exciting kind of a way, but it's really thematically resonant. Like, it really feels like you are in this weird social situation where there's a lot of awkward relationships and uncomfortable history, and a brand new brother-in-law, and it's like, what the hell's going on? And you got to figure out, like, what is it that you want to say at any given moment, and people are waiting for you to respond, right? It feels more like having a conversation than I was thinking about this in terms of, like, it feels more like having a conversation than filming a conversation, right? Whereas in like Mass Effect, there's sort of a cinematic sense to it, where you are it's less about sort of reacting in the moment to social cues and more about sort of laying out a script and having this sort of dramatic sequence play out. And so it's more important that you are able to pause and decide what it is you want to say than to sort of to feel that pressure of what is going on. The other thing that this game is doing is filling these gaps with dialogue, and there's a lot of like there are a couple examples. I'm gonna go back to in the very tutorial in the very beginning of the game, when we're still learning the controls, and there's a bit where we had to like push a dumpster, and pushing the dumpster interrupted the conversation because it caused something else to be said, right? Because the game wants to have sort of a dialogue response to everything, which is great, which is a noble goal. It's really interesting. The problem that I have with it is that it doesn't feel natural, right? That part doesn't feel like I'm able to have conversations with people in the way that I would actually have conversations. Because if I'm actually having conversations with people, there's a lot of like, hey, let's go this way. Let's like do this thing together and continue having the conversation that we're having. And there's a lot of like really subtle body language and sometimes less subtle, more like actually saying like, help me out with this dumpster, but I want to hear what you're saying. Like you're able to navigate those conversations in a way that in the game, with the level of control that you have and the level of sort of awareness that the system has, just is impossible. But that part of the game of like, can I interact with this thing? Can I move in this direction? Can I leave this screen without cutting off the conversation that we're having? And I don't really have a sense of like, am I supposed to do that? Is there more conversation here? Or are you just sort of filling time until I exit the scene and we cut to 1:00 a.m.? That feels really cinematic. That feels like directing a movie and not having a conversation. And I do think that these two things are fighting each other a little bit. And the one that I think is really brilliant and really well done and really works is the first one. That it's very non-traditional, right? That sense of having conversations like they're social interactions in a game is not how we typically approach them. I think it's really brave. I think it's really clever. I think it sort of really touches something emotionally and thematically in the game that's very cool. But the game is also doing this other thing where I feel like it's clinging to a sense of, it's the same kind of instinct, I think, that makes us want to like exit a scene on a punchy line, on a joke or on something significant or dramatic, that feels like, yeah, that's how we write TV shows. But that's not how we like have conversations. That's not what a conversation actually feels like. And I feel like this game could have a little bit more of a sense of those two different things that it's doing. And yeah, I think the one of them just works and the other one doesn't. But I'm going to take a more philosophical approach to it. And I'm gonna try to have these conversations like if I was having conversations. Well, no, I guess I'm gonna have these conversations like I'm gonna let the conversations play out. I'm gonna try maybe not to rush through having the conversations or rush through moving through the space, because I understand that is potentially at the expense of conversations. Electric Claire says it's very Whedon-esque, and that is interesting. I'm going to think about that more. Like, I'm going to need to process that. I'm familiar with Whedon's shows, obviously. I tend to think about them more in terms of characters and story beats, but obviously he's well known for the kind of dialogue that he writes. Yeah, I think that's true. I think that's a fair thing to say. I do think that there's also a generally true sort of trend in screenwriting. especially in sitcoms and soap operas, maybe, which is a lot of, well, is a lot of TV, but it's also a lot of where Whedon's shows come from, I think. That is a similar sort of pattern. It's not necessarily the same kind of dialogue, or it's not the same. The dialogue isn't the same, but there's still this pattern to sort of how you write a scene and how you end a scene, and I think that's what I'm responding to in this game. We ended yesterday at exactly the right time, because the game seems like it's structured as there's two things that you're going to do, and you can do them in either order, and so each of them is kind of separately has its
Clarissa!
own build.
Where are you?
Oh, aren't you scared about the Illuminati or whatever having their secret government meeting about their secret army of Frankensteins?
Yes, a little, but the faster we find her, the faster we can leave.
There's
It's not.
There's a particular, like, I don't know if it's fair to say that this is Whedon-esque. I'm not enough of a writer or TV critic, but like, there is dialogue in this game that reminds me of the kind and quality of quippy, funny, touching, interesting teen dialogue that you get in a lot of Whedon projects too.
Blocked. There's like something blocking it. Clarissa!
She wouldn't have barricaded herself inside, right? What do you think? Keep looking?
I think she's here.
I don't know.
I mean, the door could be blocked by anything. It could have been blocked before she even got here, right? I don't know.
I just
I
have a hunch about this one.
I think she is in there.
You mean the only door we've
All right,
checked?
shut up.
All right. Okay, let's find a way in, I guess.
Ooh, Clarissa, I'm at the beach. Fuck, which way is the beach? Okay, Milner Outpost, facilities. I don't have access to the map, right? I think that's true. I'm very confused by the naming of things here, and maybe it's that I am not paying enough attention and don't remember what people say.
Photography prohibited.
That is a very serious sign. Restricted. Keep out. Oh, they're not messing around. Does the fine print say something about being
Don't worry about it. Kids do this all the time. The worst that happens is you snag yourself on a nail or something and have to go get a tetanus shot.
What the fuck? Okay, let's go look at that thing. Coming soon, Military Museum.
Spooky.
Yeah.
You ever fired a gun?
No.
Oh, they're
Never really wanted to.
targets.
Yeah, me neither. My grandfather had a snub-nosed centennial. Even small, they're heavy. I never liked it.
What is it, 102?
Fort Milner was the home of the U.S. Army Radio Communications School, which saw more than 100,000 students take its curriculum. During the years it was open, the school trained troops from the various armed services in applied oral communication, radio and TV broadcasting, telecommunications, and what was then state-of-the-art techniques in code breaking using an early form of computer technology. The school was moved to Fort Baxter in Southern California when the post closed in 1974, and it still resides there to this day. Fort Milner.
Code breaking is an interesting invocation. We've heard Morse code, and I'm not gonna look it up. But like, you could try to decipher the Morse
See
code
sign?
that we hear
They
sometimes.
were originally going to make this whole place into a museum, but quit halfway through.
It doesn't look very, safe, so I can understand why. Wait. Clarissa still needs our help. We should find her at least before we head back out.
Oh yeah, that way to Epiphany Field. Great. I know where that is. Don't want to go there. Thank you for your help, Jonas. Should we go up this big ladder? I mean, that sounds like radio static. Oh, God. Here we go. I mean, it's doing something. Is it just making the... Do I need to hold that long? Oh, God.
Dinner time. It's never too late to make dessert. Not anymore.
What the hell is this?
Do you want to play a game?
Fuck.
Alright, I know the answer is no, but we kind of do have to find Clarissa, so let's just ignore the question and thank the weird radio men for the door.
No, I wanted to say something. Okay. I also... Okay. This is a quibble. But I wonder if other people have felt the same way. I feel like the timing on some of these dialogue options is just a little too short. Like I want to respond to what Jonas is saying, right? I want Jonas to make a statement and then I want to respond to that statement. I don't want to interrupt the statement that he's making in order to respond to it. That feels weird. That doesn't feel like a thing that a human being does. Even if I've decided what I'm going to say, I wait for him to finish his thought, right? Like there's something that it makes me very uncomfortable to interrupt literally the sentence that he's saying to respond to it. And by the time he finished talking, the thing faded out. Now I think there's two different types of dialogue branch points, and one of them it will hold your response. You sort of choose what you're going to say, and it waits until the dialogue reaches a natural point for you to say it. But sometimes it doesn't do that. Sometimes when you select a thing, it interrupts what the person is saying, and maybe those moments are when it's appropriate. Like you can do that, but it sort of weirds me out that it doesn't visually signify the difference, and I can't tell the difference, and I want to. It's important to me to be able to decide whether I'm interrupting somebody or not. One of the things that I think it does well about this conversation system is that it telegraphs what's happening so well, and that's the other problem that I have with how the conversation interacts with action in the scene, is that that's not telegraphed well. I can't tell when moving too far away from a person is going to trigger an end to the conversation, where moving off of the screen or interacting with an object is going to trigger an end to the conversation. Maybe it's maybe it's just that anytime I move off the screen or interact with an object, that's always going to trigger the end of a conversation, but that isn't always clear to me. And I wish it was. Like, I would feel a lot better about I'm interacting with this in a reasonable way if I had a little bit more confidence that I understood what was going to happen when I made a choice. And I think that that's also a little bit true about these different types of dialogue flows, is that I actually treat them very differently. and maybe I shouldn't. I'm gonna try to select an option as quickly as possible in all cases. I'm going to try to be deliberate about not letting somebody finish talking. I think that's going to work out better for me, but it feels really unnatural to do. And there's nothing explicitly in the game that's pressuring me to do it. It's this sort of like, pausing to think about why this is such a problem for me. Okay, let's go in the scary room. I'm going to respond to chat. Sorry. Kyla says, the problem is they want your response to play out in a reasonable time after he's finished his line. So you really only have until he's done speaking to make a choice. That's a good point. That's a great point, because it's important to the aesthetic, to the audio aesthetic, that the conversation flows naturally, right? They don't want a gap in between the end of his line and the start of mine. There are cases, this is really hard. I've done some of this work, so I understand how hard this is. But there are some of these cases where it feels like a little bit of a pause would be natural, right? Like, we do not, our dialogue is not as snappy. Okay, maybe that's what it is. Maybe it is more like TV dialogue, that it should feel really snappy. That's not how people really talk. Okay, so that aside, that's a great point, Kyla. I'm going to keep that in mind. It's clear that this is a trickier problem than it might appear at first, and I think they've done a really good job of tackling it. And I think that their solution is not perfect, and that's fine. It's new. They are cutting a new path with this game. I'm very curious now, having played just this much, to see what an Oxenfree 2 would look like, and I'm also very curious to see if we can get other studios to adopt this model for where it is appropriate. Like, I don't think this becomes dominant. I don't think that like all game dialogue systems turn into this. That wouldn't work. That wouldn't be right. But I think that there are situations where you might want to do something like this, and that can be really cool. And Dusky likes how the jump scares actually make me jump. Yeah. Well, that's what you get. That's what you get. Kyla, I also think that Oxenfree 2 is in the works. I believe that is true, but I don't know really anything about it. All right, we're going to go to the facilities. I have a hunch that's where Clarissa is.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Yeah.
Be locked. Come on.
Well, we didn't really need to go back anyway, right?
Unless there's no way out, then yes, we might have.
Is it raining inside this building?
Some other doors, so we should be fine, hypothetically speaking.
Or maybe the ghost will open the door again.
She dated Michael? Is that right?
Yes, quite annoyingly.
I mean, was he the type of guy that would go for that, like, sort of thing? I'm just trying to...
Well, you'd have to ask him what he was into.
That feels uncomfortable.
I've heard of it, like that one story about the cops just straight buying him a beer. Just what would a guy like that see in her? Like, at least at the start, there must have been something, right?
It's not a trick question, Jonas. She's been the homecoming queen every year since she grew boobs. And he'd been the captain of every sports team he'd ever played on. It was practically an arranged marriage.
Huh. Okay. It's just interesting, I guess, to me.
I mean, you don't know her.
What's your type?
I'm sorry, you don't know him.
Right.
You don't know Michael at all.
No. Tall, brunette, maybe a big hat, red raincoat, lots of mystique, been around the world, Somebody like that.
You're describing Carmen Sandiego.
Oh, yeah. You know, that kind of explains a lot.
I get that.
Ah, can you imagine sleeping here?
I'm trying not to. But why would the construction guys leave the bed frames? Seems kind of, I don't know. Kind
It
of
does seem weird.
Yeah, it's just strange to see it like this. Stuff like this, I always thought it was pretty. Kind of like, I don't know, kind of like the buildings being reclaimed by the trees and the soot and the soil, you know?
Well, right now it just looks like scary tentacles, so...
I can't climb it, can I?
In the daytime, this is pretty much skater mecca.
I can tell.
It's got a padlock. You can't pick this one, can you?
No, we need like bolt cutters or something.
Or the code.
Maybe it's written on a wall somewhere. Like a video game. There's a...
Hey, that's...
What the
Clarissa!
fuck? What the fuck? No,
Just leave me here, Jonas,
Jesus
please.
Christ, Jonas. Okay, this is a sign that says
Jonas, why do you always run off first?
the
It's not a
padlock
race.
responds to the radio.
Jonas, let me in. I'm not in the mood.
Fucking hell, Jonas. Okay, so something about padlock radio. That's a mirror. She came out of a mirror. What the fuck? No, going back downstairs. No. Too scary. All right, let's see. Whoops. That's like Army base operations radio.
I ask the Congress declare that since the unprovoked
99.9.
and dastardly attack by Japan on Sunday, them Nazis will learn what I mean.
Okay, well, that didn't help. I hear banging, like, is Jonas trying to bang on the door? I guess I'm gonna have to go up those scary stairs, huh? Listen, I am all about using public domain radio and music. It's being used quite well. Okay, let's go upstairs. God damn it. Okay, I have a new theory. Is it at the poster? This isn't... Okay. I could probably waste a lot of time if this was like an escape room. Oh shit!
Okay, I can't hear anything outside at all, but luckily this radio thing's working. Look, whatever. Clarissa's not in here and it's just a room, so like riddle me that first of all, and then second of all, I can't get out.
The door opened like a second ago. Can't you? Are you sure you're just
He
not turning the knob
can't-
the right way, or?
He can't hear you.
I can't hear anything outside at all, but there's just a really weird lock here. Is anything out there?
What the fuck?
Hello? Are you... Look, is someone there?
What the fuck?
When Jonas gets on your, case about his mom, just do what you feel is best, okay? What is this? What is this? What does this mean? Who are you?
Okay. Fuck. I think that what is happening is that the game through Steam is connected to my Steam profile. At the beginning, when I in the main menu, it like actually pulls my Steam profile picture, I think, and displays that. Zyvo is not with us here right now, but Zyvo is an internet friend and a Steam friend, and there was a good moment of like, what the fuck is going on? But I think that's what's going on. I think it's pulling a random name from my Steam network. For a second, I wondered if it was like somehow aware of the Twitch stream, but that doesn't make any sense. And Zyvo's not here, so it's not that. But fuck, that's what the hell is this game about? What's going on?
I'm okay.
Jesus. Fucking Jonas.
Okay, what just happened? Cause that sucked.
It's I guess a one-way lock?
I just wish one thing would work here like anything works out in the real world.
Oh, here's the code for the padlock. 3418.
Okay.
It's on a list of... Huh. They call codes cookies. Is that slang or something?
I don't know, but we got the combo, so great. Hey, did you see that? In the mirror? The reflection was weird.
Don't think I'm nuts or anything, but my reflection kind of gave me, like, fatherly advice that made absolutely no sense when you were stuck just now. So...
Wait, seriously? I'm gonna take a picture, see if the flash will make something happen.
Okay. Make it snappy. Get it?
I'm choosing not to get it.
What'd it do? Did it do anything?
Is this what you were talking to me on?
Yep. Old girl did the trick. You think maybe, Clarissa was using this before? You know, to call us and everything?
Jonas, can you
It
be
was
standing
locked.
on the other side of the
How
door?
could she have gotten in?
Please?
Same way I did. But then I don't really know how she could have gotten out.
I think there's fog of war for that room specifically because Jonas gets trapped in there, and they want you to hear stuff that's going on without being able to see it. Generally, they don't do fog of war for anything. Well, no, that's not true. Some of the interiors they have done it, but I think they don't do it generally. I think that's the reason that they're doing it there.
Radio locks. The technology here has always been... It's like primitive and from the future.
Yeah, no, it's something.
I don't know why I'm going upstairs. Is there a reason that I'm going upstairs? Okay. Nope. Let's go back down. I don't know.
Okay, just making sure. I'm just gonna pretend it didn't happen, so let's just carry on.
Did anything change? Okay. What the fuck? Why didn't you show me that goddamn picture? What is happening? Jesus Christ.
Oh, gonna hate to go out in that. So actually, before we press on, I've had to go pee for like a while now, so since we're stuck anyway, I thought I'd...
Oh my
Thought
god,
you'd
go
what?
in the corner then.
I'm sorry. I know this is like way too much too soon for us right now, but I'm gonna totally explode. I'll force it out fast.
Oh my god. Jesus.
I cannot at all believe you right now.
Don't look at me.
There are other places that would have been
I know the
better.
acoustics are
Oh my
really
god.
carrying it. Sorry.
Jesus Christ, Jonas. You got nothing to say now? That's it? You're just gonna leave it there? Okay, great. Good. Oh no. Am I supposed to... Oh, there we go. Okay, great.
Clarissa! Okay, that was definitely her. What is she? Is this just like a...
Wait, what was her? I didn't hear anything that was her. Did Tony the Tiger volunteer for submarine service? Is that what happened to Tony the Tiger?
Aimed at her or something?
She knows it's us. I don't think she'd be freaking out like this if she wasn't, like, in trouble or something.
You know, it just occurred to me she could also be having like a Ren episode. A Renisode. Possessed, or whatever we want to call it.
No, Clarissa's just being Clarissa, making everything harder than it has to be.
Hello? Is this going out, or... Wait, I can hear myself, that's not...
Man, maybe
God,
she didn't
just
see
does
us.
anybody-
I don't know, but whatever. She still has a radio, so we still gotta get to her.
The handprints are a macabre touch.
Do you know who did that? Please tell me it's like a known thing teenagers here do or something.
It's probably like children. They have such little hands.
Yeah, little kids just making a mess of things. What was that? You heard that, right?
Something just fell. Relax. I'm sure a bird landed on a piece of loose masonry or something.
Probably.
Why is the light red? Oh god, no, it's... Alright, I'm gonna look at the door first.
It's not opening. Clarissa! I'm worried. Something must be really wrong. Clarissa's a lot of things, but she wouldn't do whatever this is.
We can't leave until she shows us where that radio is. I know it's annoying, but it's our only hope for getting us out of here so far.
I mean, also, I want to save Clarissa. Like, I don't like her. I'm not a fan, but I'm not gonna leave her alone on the evil haunted island. Like, I thought that was understood. Fuck.
High in the Cascade Mountains of Washington, the Navy opens the world's largest radio transmitter. Its 1 million watts can flash a message around the world in a tenth of a second. Hey kids, want to play a game?
What is it doing?
Hangman?
Be sharp and listen, mister.
Fuck.
This is going to tell the classification board a lot about what can be expected of you in the future. How many questions will you be able to get in the allotted time?
Like a test?
Hey, why are we being tested? What did we do?
Here's a simple one to start, so don't hold your breath. What is the name of the school you are standing in?
School
10.
we're standing in? Isn't this
9.
like a classroom?
8.
I thought it was just like
Oh, it's a
US
communication.
Army
Yes.
Radio Communication School.
That's the stuff, Charlie. Now you're swinging. It all goes into your final rating. You want to get a good rating, don't you? You want to be a good soldier?
Why the hell would we want to be a good soldier?
No, not at all. I mean, why should I care about any of this?
Why should you care?
Now
I
it just
didn't
says
care.
ghost, huh?
Oh, Jesus. What is
Fuck.
going on?
Ugh, I feel like I'm stuck on a tilt-a-whirl.
Jesus, what?
Just keep the pointer on the button. Question 2. What did the communications officers at Fort Milner call codes?
Who would know
Cookies.
that?
You'd call codes cookies?
There. Now you're cooking. Coded radio transmitters have an important job, and you wouldn't want them to be unqualified.
Okay, look. Is this a trick? Is whatever I'm gonna say gonna bite me in the ass no matter what? Because if that's the case, then...
Watch your language, young lady. There's no room for sass in the armed forces.
Whatever.
We are an island race.
Oh shit.
And through all our times, the sea has ruled our breaks. But be wary, young ones.
Alright, if I'm answering the questions, you can leave Jonas out of it, okay?
One last round and you've cleared your exam. Pencils ready. How many officers died in the sinking of the USS Kanaloa?
I have no idea.
9.
Above all
8.
victories, beyond all loss.
7.
In spite of changing values in
6.
the changing world.
85?
Correct. 97 brave men and women died on the USS Kanaloa. 85 officers, 12 passengers. It all adds up to another fact for the classification board. Just another fact among many.
Here I am. I didn't need to get that far.
It's fucking good, man.
Here I am. I didn't need to get that far.
Are we underwater now? What the fuck is happening?
The United States submarine Kanaloa is shown for the first time in Pacific waters patrolling for the enemy. Pacific waters patrolling for the enemy. Through the periscope, the commander looks out over the ocean's surface. Kanaloa was lost today, lost at sea, near...
Is this... Are you the dead officers that sunk on the Kanaloa?
We are sunken.
Whoa.
What do you want?
For the first time.
Time. Just
Time.
What the fuck?
What? That was not fun.
Are you feeling better?
I'm feeling Let's start with that.
This has been United News, and thank you for listening.
This is just unbelievable.
Can anyone just...
That's gotta be Clarissa. Let's get her and get out of here. Or use her radio and get out of here, but let's just get out of here.
Yes, agreed. Is she... Maybe she's the other way. There was another door in there. Alex... Okay, so Jaxwell in chat says, I feel like Alex is handling most of this better than the average person would. Or at least better than I would. I feel ya. It's interesting. Alex definitely suffers a little bit from player character syndrome of the design of the game wants to allow the player space to define the character of Alex in certain ways. And because of that, there's not really a way for Alex to have a strong, consistent character voice. And this is, this is a trade-off. This is like on a spectrum rather than an absolute, but I'm not saying that Alex isn't well written, or isn't like a compelling character. But there's a trade-off, right? If you want to be able to give the player the ability to play as Alex is very like grounded and driven, and there's spooky shit going on, but she's not gonna like let that freak her out. And you also want to allow for her to be like totally freaked out, right? To buy into it. Because you want to give her a range of dialogue choices. You want to have her be able to have a conversation with Jonas where she says either like you are overthinking this, or like we got to freak out about this. Because of that, like it's hard to give her a realistic reaction to things, right? It's hard to write that because the player is playing in that space. It's sort of like distorting what that reaction is going to look like. This is a very, very common, this is just sort of a game thing, right? This writing is good. Alex is well written. But this is a thing that you're going to encounter, I think, in any kind of interactive game where you are playing with that kind of agency that makes it different from, a movie or a TV show or something like that. Dusky says, I like how uneasy the game makes you. It's a very anxious game. Manages to be scary without having to dip into being gory or even relying too much on jump scares. Yeah, like there's definitely, Kyla, you're right. There's definitely, it's doing jump scares. Like that is definitely part of its vocabulary, but it's also doing a lot of creepy atmosphere stuff. And it's doing some body horror and some like uncanny and like threat, like fear for safety kinds of stuff without actually being bloody. I appreciate that tremendously because I like one of those things quite a lot and I really, really don't like the other. So a game that's able to walk that line, I think it's fucking great. I don't know why I wanted to climb that ladder. I don't think that's... Oh, that's the only thing I can do. Okay.
Clarissa's asleep right now. Be still so as not to wake her.
Huh?
What, there are ghosts. Did you forget about the ghosts?
Cross your fingers. Clarissa.
Oh, well, look at this. The Super Twins decided to grace me with their presence.
Fuck you, Clarissa.
Thought maybe I wasn't good enough for a house call, Doctor.
Are you all right?
I mean, yeah. Why? Yeah, sure, my hair might be a little weird, but there's not a lot I can do about that.
You just sounded really distressed, that's all.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I'm fine now, so...
Alright, where's this famous radio?
I don't know, I can't get it to do anything I want.
Alex, want to take a look at this?
I'm the radio person, I guess.
No, this is like a low frequency thing. It's just meant for the bass. It won't... I don't think it can beam out.
Really?
No, isn't there a way
These
to...
officers who know your problems full and well will give you a friendly and sympathetic hearing.
Who is that?
Cross your fingers.
Fuck. I can't... Oh.
Jonas, wait. We're in another... Got looped again.
Crap. Well, just keep me in the loop. I didn't mean to say that. Clarissa! Is there anything like... Can we cut her down with some...
Holy crap.
What is it? Is something wrong? Or not?
Whew. Just brace yourself, okay?
All right. Clarissa? I would have swore she was in here.
Marissa?
Oh, maybe this was the thing, the radio she was using. If we can get it to... I mean, she got it to kind of work, so...
Yeah, it only broadcasts within a short space. It's not going to do what we need it to.
Really? How do you know?
Jonas, we're in a loop. We already just... It's okay. Knock yourself out.
I mean, stuff does change from loop to loop, Alex. Like, you do know that. Am I clipping through Jonas? Yeah. Let's do the tape player. Okay.
Clarissa.
Oh, thank God, Clarissa. We saw... I
Wait,
saw you
Clarissa?
out.
Don't worry.
What the fuck?
I can never forget
She's
that
like
I am an
Marissa.
American.
There will be other ships. And
Fuck.
other souls to sail them.
No! Jesus Christ! No!
Oh my god! Why would she do that? Why would she do that? We're not... It's not like we're...
She was like possessed. I just... This is... Jonas, this is so horrible.
I don't even know what to... We should get to the others. I can't even imagine telling them. Or how to tell them. I mean...
I don't even know how I can tell her mom. I mean, she knows me. This can't... Oh, God. And just the fact that I'm the one who was here. And... God.
We'll figure it out.
What the
This is
fuck?
unbelievable.